grappling types of techniques, especially when you think of mixed martial arts then. When the Ultimate Fighting Championship first began, it was known as No Holds Barred. The product that you're watching today, mixed martial arts, has approximately 37 rules. Part of those 37 rules, there are weight classes, there are time periods, the athletes wear gloves, and they fight one opponent in a given evening. Back when it first began, back in '94, up until I think about '97, '98 was when they really started getting hit hard and had to make some rule changes. It was known as No Holds Barred. In the No Holds Barred era, you had two rules. Those being, do not bite your opponent, do not stick fingers in their eye sockets. Into the rules. Anything else you can think of and let your imagination go wild, you were good to go. No weight classes. The biggest weight difference was in excess of 400 pounds. A 200-pound Temple Karate guy, Keith Hackney out of Illinois, went up against Manny Yarbrough, a 616-pound sumo. And Keith Hackney jumps up, open hand palm, hits him right in the head, drops Manny Yarbrough, and hits him another 60 or 70 times with his fist, breaking his hand in the process before they stopped the match. So it's a whole different time era. No weight classes, no time periods. You simply went until someone had victory, whether that was because their opponent was unconscious or because their opponent threw the towel in because they didn't think that their athlete was reacting in an irrational manner anymore. So it has changed great big. It was bare knuckled on top of that. So it was a whole different world, and it was an 8-man tournament. You had to face and defeat 3 opponents in less than a 2-hour pay-per-view. So it's changed a great deal. But the premise of me telling the story is, when it first began, you had a lot of one-dimensional athletes, and I throw myself in that category. They were either just boxers, kickboxers, judo players, jiu-jitsu players, and what happened is that, and they were categorized, they were either being categorized as being from the world of striking or from the world of grappling. The grapplers, when we first came out, to realize, gee, the matches are starting on our feet. I need survivor skills in order to go out there to at least close this distance against the striker. So I had to learn how to survive, how to defend some of these strikes, kicks, punches, things of that nature. And once I got to a clinch, I was good to go. The strikers realized I'm okay while I'm on my feet, and I have space to work my magic. But the moment that I should be clinched or jammed up against a cage wall or taken down, now it neutralized a great deal of their arsenal. So that's where the sport really started to evolve. When it first began, you had some really phenomenal boxers, kickboxers, Muay Thai, Karate Kung Fu guys that were good while they were on their feet, but the moment that they were clinched or jammed up against the cage walls or taken down, now they weren't used to fighting from this close quarter combatants or fighting off their back, things of nature. But today, because the sport has evolved the way it is, you've got strikers that can grapple with the best of the grapplers and grapplers that can strike with the best of the strikers. Give the sport about 3 or 4 more years, then you'll have kids that weren't even born at that point in time will be starting to enter into that circuit. So the next 3 to 4 years, you'll see the true evolution of this sport come to fruition. Some of the people like John Bones, watch him out there, of what he's doing, very innovative, but then there's other people that do innovative type of things there as well. But you'll see in the next 3 to 4 years a new level of competition coming in. This little pummeling exercise I'm showing you is used in a lot of different positions. They talk about Randy Couture all the time, dirty boxing. What Randy is doing is Greco-Roman wrestling, all the techniques. That's what his background is. He was a collegiate wrestler. He boxed in the military, but his background was predominantly internationally was as a Greco-Roman wrestler. Greco-Roman wrestling is from the waist up, so that's where you see the big bar locks, headlocks. But the way that they stay in this over, under, or pummeling position, the way that you can pop with your shoulders, jaw jack. There's so many things that the public will never see that is taking place, that the opponents will feel. One day when the way that video games, something like this, are advancing, one day you will be able to play your little UFC PlayStation video game and you'll be able to take these little circular electronic discs, it's called electrostim. They use it in sports medicine now, they've been using it for about 40 plus years that I'm aware of. But whereas they used to have you connected to wires, now they can simply just put little circular patches on your body, and then wireless, they can push buttons and they can fire legs, arms, and the whole 9 yards. I happen to be in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in the French Quarter, where they took a paraplegic. Paraplegic means they have two limbs, usually the legs, that don't work. They wired this person all up. He had never seen, he had to stand and walk in I forget how many years, and electronically, now it looked like NASA with all the wires and stuff like this they had hooked to him, but they actually made this man stand up and walk the full length of the block. And he's a paraplegic, but that's because what the spinal cord took away from him, electronically, they did it from external, and you'll see that as way that medicine is going to continue to improve. It's wonders what they do already. I know I moved up to tangents. Can I have my demonstration from here? This little drill, first off, it's going to help build cardiovascular, very sport-specific cardiovascular. It's also going to develop muscular endurance and the rapid depth exercise. So it will give you just those two things. But as I said before, there's roughly between 15 to 17 different techniques that you can do as an amateur wrestler. It will help you a great deal. So when you get back with your partner, make sure that you control this arm. Whether I hold on to like this, or if I break a little bit higher, or I pinch it with my lat and my arm itself, keep it rated in place. But now as we circle over, the use of my weight and my legs come on in. But now for the position, I go to what's known as little bit of now that one right there here, I go from head in here, slide right back in around the bottom. I can pop over these positions here, and I go into big headlocks here. Spin right back into here. Go into what's known as a one-arm shoulder throw thing. These just give you just a couple examples, but there's body locks, headlocks. Wave my foot there, sweeps, knee strikes, stomps, shoulder pop, and jaw jacking. And again, just being nice because I don't want my partner to bite his tongue or something like that side of his mouth in process. Go back with your partner one more time. Just drill this one more time, and then we'll go into